we welcome you inside Lumen Field on your standard rain-filled afternoon in Seattle, Washington. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the New York Jets and the Seattle Seahawks. Set to go now on a prototypical rainy northwestern afternoon. And off we go from Seattle. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
Play action. Now Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hall. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. The game's first play produces 6 yards. Brings up second down. Throwing is Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Moore, the man in motion. On first down, Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
They'll run for the first time with Breece Hall. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on third down. Here's Wilson to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Seahawks get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And partner, let me make a quick pivot here. Season winding down. They're number 32 in offense this year. The last in the league. Where do they go?
Anywhere and everywhere. But they have to do it with a plan. And I think about Atlanta a bunch of years ago. They decided they wanted to get what they thought was going to be a franchise quarterback. And indeed he is, Matt Ryan. But they had to supplement it. They went free agency, got a running back. Came back and traded back into the first round in the same draft to get a left tackle to protect him. Really supplemented that pick, complemented that pick, and went to the playoffs the very next year.
Or maybe they can use that and carbon copy it. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Play action. It's Wilson. Sliding out of the pocket. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, we went from scoreless to 13-0 in a hurry. First, their offense had the touchdown, and now the defense comes through with one.
You can't get a better 1-2 punch than that. Follow up a touchdown offense by getting one on defense. If they keep that effort up, you'll take the other sideline out of this one very quickly.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And they'll make the score 14-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This one fielded at the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game. Ball has it knocked loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Second and short now following the fumble. On second down, a run with Hall. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. He's already put it on the ground once in this first half. There, no gain, just struggling to get going.
Yeah, and what he needs right now, a dose of confidence, which means his guys have to chop a hole, a big one for him, give him a chance to run a little bit and gain some of that confidence back. He didn't get it on that carry.
They'll run with Hall, and he is going to lose yardage here. They were ahead of schedule after the gain of 7 on first down, but the defense does not budge on second and third. On fourth down, punt coming from Braden Mann. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. And some room to maneuver. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts things from the defensive side and the offensive side. As we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Another first down there as this one goes for 25.
Watch out now, 50 Fury. Shot, 17.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
On second down, there's the option going left. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Love. And this a quick slant to Lockett. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Here's Walker, and he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Kenneth Walker with now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. And the Seahawks take a 3-touchdown lead. So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
And give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and is showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season. And those votes may have been turned into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here. In motion left is Wilson. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Wilson.
This pass out wide to Hall.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And some space here. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson.
And check down, complete to Hall. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Set.
Hall, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. They go play action with Wilson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
So Wilson runs off, and now they will go to the man they call Greg the Leg, Greg Zuerlein.
From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards.
And now this ball picked up in the end zone. Remember, this is a live ball.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there at 22.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Has some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone. 50 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Let's go now. Right, 60.
And Walker once more.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
Ready.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
On 2nd down, it's Walker.
And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line. Now they send a man in motion right.
Smash red. Black ultra. Beetle blue.
Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Love to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They throw for it on 4th and goal at the 1. And the Jets are going to get the football back. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now Wilson back into his end zone. And he finds Corey Davis. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards. First down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try to put some points on the board.
And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain.
That's on the guard, Laken Tomlinson.
Let's go now, let's go now, let's go now. 564 weeks.
Paul want to give up the middle. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. How about Jonathan Allen there pushing upfield to make the stop behind the line?
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. They'll keep it on the ground again here. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Here's Jonathan Coachman. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Third quarter begins with a run by Walker. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Bottled up, fumble. It's out, it's loose. A call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Off the play fake, Love.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football.
Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the third quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Davis.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
To throw again on second down. Wilson.
That pass complete to Moore. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against him because you're running away from people on it.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
66. Pull it hard.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Touchdown, Jets.
Garrett Wilson,
33 yards.
and the Jets take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
That's the score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
From the 24,
Love. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
picked off by Quan Alexander.
And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. To throw is Wilson.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Seahawks force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Up the middle they run. It's Walker.
They'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Right, 97, 38. Right, right.
Play action this time with Love. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, the connection they've had has been excellent today, but not on that snap. I think he was asking just a little too much as he extended that play, hoping for one more completion with him.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Now Hall to start the drive.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Wilson. To the right side, and he's got more complete.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Give to Hall running right. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's Wilson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They go play action now. Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
He's got the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and the deficit will hold at 15.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. Their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Back to Walker on 1st down. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
So we'll get the penalty all sorted out when we get back.
Ready. Ready.
And going right back to Walker.
It's a gain of 4, but they're still looking up here at a tough 3rd and 11.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100.
Well, the pressure gets to Love, and he'll go down. John Franklin Myers
able to record his 5th sack of the season. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Jordan Brooks on the tackle.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
They didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage.
Ball again on 2nd down.
And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. And this offense on 3rd down today, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Going to look deep for Wilson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.
Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
114 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
Ken Walker.
His 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year.
And the Seahawks look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Ready?
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need it? He always talks about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Tanner Muse with it. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
If they had designs of kind of wiggling their way back into this one, that hurts their chances right there.
Man, to put it mildly, look at the lead, look at the deficit, trying to make a play downfield. Everyone seeking to be somewhat the hero. Didn't turn out that way.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown.
Kenneth Walker,
26 yards.
And the Seahawks look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here this 4th quarter.
And the kick is no good, but there are flags behind the line. He's going to get bailed out. I think this is going to be a roughing call. Now Myers for the extra point. He gets it to go, and the lead swells, 35-6. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line.
He'll give it to Hall to start the drive.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a 1st.
Got it.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. Their front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Here we go. Set.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception. And the Seahawks are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Room here to run. 20, 5, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. It's a squib kick that still makes its way down. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there's no